Hi, Jess Weatherbird here for TechRadar, and today we are going to be reviewing the Elgato Facecam. Now, Elgato are well known for making products designed with streamers and content creators in mind, so it was always a little bit strange that they didn't already have a webcam within their product lineup. This is something that's now clearly been rectified by introducing the Facecam, a full HD 1080p streaming webcam. The Facecam goes on sale on July 16th for around $200, £190 or €200, and Elgato has informed us that while the Facecam won't be made available to Australia or Asia yet, it is expected to launch within those regions by the end of 2021. The Facecam sits neatly into the middle of the Elgato product family for affordability and general performance, so if you're looking for a bargain and you already have a camera, then the Camlink 4K is actually a cheaper investment at $130. But it is worth noting that you'd need to buy a separate camera to use with that particular piece of kit if you haven't already, and the 1080p resolution will still be capped at 60 frames per second regardless of what bit of kit you're using. Resolution and frame rate are the most important distinctions when stacking the Facecam against some of the best webcams on the market, and where most standard webcams do stick to a maximum of 1080p at 30 frames per second, the Facecam has actually bumped the frame rate up to 60 frames per second, just like the Logitech StreamCam and the Razer Kiyo Pro. Frame rate is what gives your video that kind of buttery smooth appearance, and it's generally prioritised over resolution for a lot of streamers because the actual recording window of a lot of streams is going to be so small anyway that having 4K video isn't going to be a priority for most people. This isn't to say that 4K video doesn't have its place, but for gamers and commentators especially, that bump to 60 frames per second really does help to enhance the quality of a stream. There are a few noteworthy features that make the Facecam impressive outside of just frame rates as well. The webcam sensor can make or break the product, and it's often the failing of cheaper brandless products that you typically see on Amazon. Elgato has tried to ensure that you're getting something reliably high quality by including a Sony Starvis CMOS sensor into the device. Essentially, this is a sensor typically used in high-quality security web cameras that aids in low-light filming environments, which can help to massively reduce noise. Noise is that kind of like grainy appearance that you get in lower-quality webcams when you're filming in darker environments, and what that means is your webcam is struggling to cope with the lack of light in your surroundings, and it helps to create that weird static-like appearance in the background. So the Facecam is well equipped to try and combat that buzzy kind of footage as much as possible. Elgato's offering stacks up incredibly well against its rivals in the streaming webcam market. When we tested it against the Razer Kiyo Pro and the Logitech StreamCam, the Elgato Facecam is noticeably more saturated and vibrant at default settings compared to the other two webcams. Though this is something usually manually altered by content creators to make themselves more of a focus during their broadcast. If the vibrancy isn't your taste, then Elgato has provided some editing software for the Facecam to make some adjustment. And wow, the Camera Hub software is really a blessing when you stack it up against the Logitech Capture software and the Razer Synapse software. While the hardware itself is impressive enough, the alterations that can be made in this software blow the competition out of the water. Where the Logitech Capture software offers too few editing options for our liking, and the Razer Synapse software has a buggy reputation to contend with, the Camera Hub is easy to use and feature-packed, providing a full range of options to change the contrast, saturation, shutter speed, field of view with a handy slider rather than any fixed options, and more. The inspiration taken from DSLR cameras already used in streaming is very apparent within the Camera Hub program. You also have the option to reduce the quality of your broadcast down should you need to do so manually, with the lowest available setting of 540p at 30 frames per second. Best of all, you can save your adjustments as a new default setting to the webcam's onboard flash memory, so once you've tweaked your footage to perfection, you don't need to mess around with it again. There are a few features that Elgato have actually omitted from the Facecam that might sway you away from buying one, but personally we're with Elgato in the decision to actually remove these. So the first one is that there isn't an autofocus built into the Facecam. This is typically a feature that streamers don't use as it can interfere with the quality of your stream. If you're moving around and you're being quite active, going out of focus, in and out of focus constantly, it tends to make things look a little bit on the messy side. Given the autofocus on both the Razer Kiyo Pro and the Logitech StreamCam can be a little bit frustrating as well, and this is a product optimized with streamers in mind, it does make sense to just bin off the feature entirely. Another thing to note is that the Facecam doesn't have an onboard microphone, and again, there is an important reason for this. Typically, the microphones used within webcams aren't the highest of quality, and if you're going to be using a dedicated streaming webcam, it doesn't really make any sense to take up the space that could be used to build extra features into the product. So if you are going to be buying this, it's worth noting that you will need to have either a headset microphone or a dedicated USB or XLR microphone to use that will actually aid in having a higher quality audio to your broadcast. And of course, there's always the other advantages to owning other products within Elgato's family. So if you happen to own a Stream Deck, that you can also download a plugin that means that you can make video alterations possible within a touch of a couple of buttons down there. So if you wanted to get those reaction shots in of you zooming in on your face when you get sniped by some kid that you really should have seen from a mile away, you can make those reaction shots with very little effort. Given the Stream Deck is already a highly coveted product within the streaming community, Elgato really has knocked it out of the park with ensuring its ecosystem communicates effortlessly with the rest of its product line. The Facecam really has knocked the competition out of the park in terms of the streaming webcam market, and overall Elgato has provided an insanely high quality product, and it's definitely the streaming webcam to beat now on the market.